What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Ord's Board. So I just want to start off by letting you guys know that I never really wanted to talk politics or do anything about politics on this channel. I wanted to strictly keep it to like the fun stuff. But when something hits so close to home, with the shit that's been going on in the media lately, and just so you guys know, I'm going to swear through this whole thing, so viewer beware. Anyway, guys, so we're talking about vaping, of course, and everything that's going on, all the news, and all these supposed people with these lung diseases who are dying now because of vaping and so on and so forth. Yeah, we're going to talk about that today. And I feel like this is really important. You know what? So fuck it. I'm going to talk about this today because this really pisses me off when the media, the mass media, tries to sell you a narrative, a false narrative of what's going on in the world today, just to instill fear in people, because fear gets views. And if you've noticed, it's been kind of slow in the news in recent past. So, it's just ridiculous what they're willing to do to get people to watch their news. It's disgusting. The lies that are being told about this just to push a false narrative. You guys can tell I'm pretty passionate about this. Hopefully you can. So I'm just going to kind of talk candid about this stuff. And while I do, I'm going to go ahead and vape. I've been vaping for 7 years. And as far as I can tell, I've had no, ill side effects towards it. It's never caused any issues with me. If anything, it's allowed me to enjoy nicotine without having to smoke cigarettes, without having to stink, and the stuff smells good, so, it makes me feel better. It makes me feel like I have a better quality of life and still can enjoy a nicotine thing, which is extremely less harmful, no matter what the media tells you, is extremely less harmful for you than cigarettes. So let's kind of dive into this. I got this video pulled up. We're kind of going to go over this video a little bit. And there'll probably more videos coming on this subject. So with that being said, we are going to dive into this discussion. First and foremost, guys, let's start with the whole advertising to children thing. As a person who grew up in a generation where things were sold to us, Toucan Sam sold us cereal. You know what I mean? We grew up with this type of advertising. You look at the 80s, after I was born, the way they advertise, big, bright colors, vibrant, they're marketing to a specific group of people, and that's the people who are vaping. That's my age group. And there are older people. There are younger people. Yes, we do have youth who are vaping. But is that any different? And I'm not trying to use this as an excuse, or I'm not saying that the youth should be vaping by any means. There's laws for a reason, guys. I do not believe that youth should be vaping. However, you have to understand that kids will rebel. How is it any different than kids going out and, having somebody buy them a pack of cigarettes and then skipping school to go smoke the cigarettes? Hell, I remember in high school, we used to smoke cigars. We would leave school to go smoke cigars at behind the music shop across the street from school. This is just something that kids do. Again, I'm not advocating the use of youth vaping. I'm telling you that this is just a reality. And I'm not saying we don't put measures in to help prevent those things, but it's a reality that's going to happen no matter what, guys. Whether you like it or not, youth will vape. And it's just doing the research and getting and educating the people on the subject. To touch more on that, as an adult, who doesn't like candy? You guys seem to think that because they're marketing to candy, or they're using candy to market, that it's a kid thing. I love candy. I love strawberry shortcake. I love blueberry muffins. Who doesn't love those things? Look at me, guys. I love those things. So they're marketing to the people who want fruit flavors, you know, and the majority of adult vapors love fruit flavors. That's just how it is, guys. This is exactly what I got now. Right now, guys, I'm vaping on a dark berry. Dark berry. By Marco's Vapor, by the way, guys. A great product. I've been to his facility. I've seen it. He has a clean room where people wear medical grade equipment to make this stuff in a lab. And I make that point for later on in this video, and we will talk about it. But right now, with the youth, they're not marketing to kids. It just so happens that it's, kids aren't supposed to do it, so it's edgy and it's cool. Don't act like you guys didn't go to high school with people who did the same kind of shit, because you totally did. So yeah, anyway, guys, I don't believe they are specifically marketing to children. And look at this. Look, my boy Marco, on top of business. Do you see any kind of fruit on there? Because I sure as hell don't. This looks very, I guess I say sterile, really. It's a very sterile label. So, and a big warning right on the bottom, guys, nicotine, these legitimate vapor shops are following the regulations expected by the FDA. They're going above and beyond, or making their labeling so that the whole "we're marketing to kids" thing doesn't become an issue, guys. So get the idea that they're marketing specifically to kids out of your head, because that's just not true. That's not true. And if you think that, guys, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. And with that being said, let's go ahead and vape some. But yeah, you guys understand here. I hopefully you understand what my point I'm trying to make here. Sorry, I needed. I got to take a minute to breathe here. So as I sit here and vape, I guess we can go ahead and take a look at this video. Now, I just wanted to get that subject out of the way because I feel like it's one of those false narratives, this epidemic of youth, getting hold of a product is far less. I'd rather youth experiment with vaping than they would with actual cigarettes, because I used to smoke cigarettes. And the reason I started vaping is I quit cigarettes, and I was going through some shit, and I wanted something to relax me, and I almost bought a pack of cigarettes. Instead, I bought a vaporizer, and I fell in love with it. And I've been vaping for 7 years now, guys, 7 years, and I've had no issues, no repercussions whatsoever. So anyway, let's get into I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit about like my experience with vaping. Yeah, my experience with vaping has been I've never had a single issue with it. So anyways, okay, with that said, let's dive into really what is going on in this whole vaping world. For those of you who want to believe the mass media, we're going to go over this video here where there's an advocate talking about what is going on in the real, or what's really going on in the vaping community currently. Let's take a look at this news feed a little bit and kind of break it down.
Our discussion on vaping and e-cigarette regulation. Joining us this morning is Tony Aboud,
Thank you.
The Executive Director of Vapor Technology, which represents over 800 companies in that space. Tony, thanks for your...
Okay, so this guy represents, like they just said, over 800 companies. And he's going to fill everybody in on what's going on. He's the guy who is basically counteracting this dude's questions here.
Time.
Hey, I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
You guys are under some fire. What does the industry do now?
Well, I think, the bottom line is we want to make sure that we speak clearly and that our government and our public health officials speak clearly about what's really going on. The fire is being caused by what you were just referring to as these illnesses and disease, and that's what's really attracting a lot of attention.
Okay, so like he just said, what's attracting attention are these diseases, these illnesses that people are getting. Yes, they exist. These people they actually have illnesses, lung disease that is developing.
But what you didn't hear from the former speaker, but you did hear from the FDA, is that the root cause of these problems are not nicotine-containing products.
Okay, did you hear that? They're not nicotine-containing products, meaning they are not. This is the FDA saying this, guys, the FDA. So to give you an idea about what the media, the narrative media is trying to push on you, the FDA has come out and said that it is not nicotine-related products that are causing these issues. So right there, the first narrative that the media is trying to sell you is that this is just an overall vaping thing. Vaping being a very vague term. And the media does this with these vague terms to basically fit things under an umbrella that shouldn't be under there.
But what they're really focused on are illicit black market THC products.
Okay, so exactly. This is exactly what's going on in the community. So you have a black market of THC products because the majority of places in this country it is illegal to have these products. Again, prohibition does not work, guys. We tried it in the 20s. We tried prohibition with marijuana. Clearly, it doesn't work. It creates a black market where people then die because it is illegal. Again, prohibition doesn't work at all, guys. Again, the issue here is these THC vaping cartridges that are being made in people's basements, and people buy them because they're cheap. They're cheap because they're made with garbage products. I'm a man who likes to believe that in America you pay for what you get. And the cheaper the product doesn't mean it's a better product. It might be better for your wallet, but clearly it's not better for your health. As a consumer, you need to be responsible. You need to have your own responsibility and doing your research on your products, looking at what's going on or what you're putting into your own body. That is your responsibility. So to take rights away from other people, other adults, who are doing it responsibly is just wrong. It's absolutely wrong.
And we immediately have told everybody that nobody should buy products off of the street. But we have a big problem.
I would like to think that's common sense. Don't buy products off the street. Okay? And here's the thing, too. If marijuana wasn't illegal, then we wouldn't have this issue. People wouldn't feel the need to go out and buy garbage THC cartridges if you just made the shit illegal.
Concern, which is that without a clear message coming out from our public health officials, they're conflating all vaping or the use of e-cigarettes with nicotine with street-bought black market THC products. And that's a dangerous...
Right there, guys. That's exactly what I said, man. It's that umbrella and the narrative they're trying to sell you. Because of the epidemic, you don't hear about the epidemic of youth vaping for months. And then all of a sudden, people start getting, lung disease because of these black market THC cartridges. And now all of a sudden, it's an epidemic because the youth. Well, nobody was talking about this months ago. I wasn't hearing anything about it. If I'm wrong, leave a comment below. Let me know, within the last year, what kind of stories you've heard about vaping. But anyway, guys, this is exactly what's going on here. The media is trying to push a narrative, to push an agenda, that it goes against the rights of Americans.
It's dangerous not to send the appropriate warning, especially in this context. So this is a significant...
Tony, we've seen a number of reports, though, that indicate while certainly that may be one of the culprits, it's not clear that is the only culprit. I mean, to our last guest's point,
this guy is
others,
so full of shit.
And I don't know if you'd agree. We don't know yet.
Right there. Oh, we don't know yet. I think there's a sufficient enough evidence to show. And as the FDA coming out and saying this is, it's not the nicotine-related products. Don't we know if the FDA is saying it? I mean, if we're going to follow what the FDA says, then it's not the nicotine-related products. But this guy's saying, oh, well, but we don't know. But there's strong evidence to suggest. And believe it or not, in Kenosha, there was actually 2 guys arrested for manufacturing black market THC cartridges in their garage. All right? So I don't know if that specific arrest is linked to it, but nobody's talking about them together. There seems to be separate stories. And why? Because the media doesn't want them put together. Because then their whole narrative is blown out of the water. So there are people out there selling black market THC cartridges, and there are people out there who are willing to buy them. So... And like right here, you look at the screen. This is a Juul. This is not a THC cartridge. This has nothing to do with it. But they're going to throw this imagery in there. Again, the overall selling you the narrative.
What is causing some of these illnesses, do we?
We don't know the full details, but we do know enough, according to the New York Department of Health and the FDA, which put out clear warnings. Which
According to
said
the FDA,
that it's the THC products that people should stop vaping. That is the FDA statement that they put out on Friday evening. And as far as the New York Department of Health goes, they did their findings and their research, and they put out their statement last week, which said that what they found was this vitamin E acetate oil, which is being used to cut.
Exactly. So it's the reason why these cartridges are so cheap is because they're cutting them. And this is a thing that drug dealers have done for many, many years. I remember hearing about this when I was a kid. So, and this is not only is it the FDA saying this, it's the New York Board of Health saying this, guys. And again, it's not the nicotine-related products like the media sells it.
Into THC wax that's extracted from the cannabis plant, and it's used to cut it to make it more soluble, perhaps more vapable. But they found that in only the THC products, and they didn't find it in any of the nicotine products. So yes, you are correct. We don't know the full answer yet, but we have a clear indication as to where they are going. And so
exactly. So they don't fully know, and he agreed with that. But the evidence strongly suggests. I would say the evidence, the writing's on the wall.
While we reserve judgment, if you don't properly warn, then you're sending the wrong message. And if you don't tell people about the right warning, then they're going to continue to perhaps use that product. But what's really important here is...
Exactly. The key to communication and getting the people to understand what exactly is going on here is pertinent to people's health. If they're not given the right warning, he's right. We're going to have more of this. And here's the other thing. Donald Trump wants to put a ban on flavored e-juices because it's caused problems, and we want to steer kids away from it. But it's not kids. This isn't marketed to kids. This isn't affecting kids. Even if you get kids to stop vaping, it's going to affect thousands of small businesses who've invested money, time, energy, their life into these shops just to get people off cigarettes. I've got a buddy who owns a vape shop. Shout out to Marco. He's doing it right, man. If you have any questions, hit him up, guys. He'll answer these questions for you because he truly, truly believes that what he's doing is good and saving people's lives. And you know what? I agree with him. I have his back because he's always looked out for me when it comes to my vaping products. He's never done me wrong. And whatever false narrative is trying to be sold here, it's wrong, guys. It's wrong. And this will affect people that I care about. This will affect many people if these flavor bans will go into effect. And again, prohibition, guys, we've tried it. It doesn't work. We know this. The studies show that, guys. I don't need to go over this whole video. I just kind of wanted to get up here and get excited about this, get this information out there, guys. There's going to be more videos to come on this, I think. I could talk about so much more. Okay, we'll talk a little bit about the history of vape. So the first vaping device created in the 60s, the first patent 2003. It's been on the market for 15 years. I would say 15 years is enough to have had some kind of research done to show the effects. And as a matter of fact, there's an article, and maybe we'll take a look at that article in another video, but there's an article done over in the UK that talks about how vaping is about 95% safer than smoking cigarettes. We're not going to go into the actual science of why that is. We can talk about that another time. But anyway, the studies they've done that show vaping is actually a lot safer for people than cigarette smoke. So yeah, guys, this false narrative that the media is trying to sell you, if you believe it, you're a fool. And I encourage you guys to go out and do your own research. And I will try to do some more research for you guys here. I've been kind of looking at this the last few days, just trying to gather information and figure out what I want to talk about. And I was a little nervous to talk about this just because, again, people might not like what I have to say. But you know what? As Jeremy from Geeks and Gamers say, and thank you for the inspiration, Jeremy, you just got to say fuck it and go for it. So that's what I'm doing here, guys. I feel very passionately about this. And I'm going to continue to keep this discussion open. If you guys want to leave comments below, try to be nice. Let me know how you guys feel about this whole situation. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it. And let's keep this discussion open. Let's keep it going, guys. And I will look to do more videos on this as well. And we are going to do what we can to make sure that, as American citizens, we stand up for our rights for vaping. And yeah, guys, let's keep people off cigarettes because they're bad and they stink and they're nasty. Cheers to vaping, guys. Okay. All right. So with that being said, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this angry rant. I know I feel much better after this, but the work is not done, so let's keep it going. If you guys did like this video, please hit the like button. Please hit the bell for notifications. Please don't forget to hit the subscribe button. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for watching. I apologize. I'm a little winded from that conversation there, but anyway, guys, again, hopefully you like this video, and as always, I love you guys. Thank you for watching, and we will catch you guys on the other side. Peace.